And a very big hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, better known as Imola, a place where in 2015 AC/DC played as part of their World Tour. But today it plays host to round 3 of Season 5 of the Aussie Racing League and our first sprint round. Let's take a look at the circuit. It's 4.9 kilometres in length and 19 turns, a massive DRS zone and a very hard braking area going down into turn 1. It's going to be fun, people. Let's take you to your commentary team.
All right. Is it working? No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wednesday night, which means it is time for the Prodigy division. I'm your host, Man of Tin, and in the box with me tonight we have Deku. Welcome along, mate.
Yeah, hello, Man of Tin. How are you going today?
Yeah, not too bad. Looking forward to a good race. So we are obviously at Imola this week. We're just having a little bit of time loading in. While we do that, we're just going to quickly go over the standings at the moment. We have the Red Bull team out in front. So the Red Bull team is our championship leader, SGN. And our other driver is Kev the Gardener. So, sorry, we're just having a few technical difficulties with the game loading in, so do bear with us. Have you driven this week, Deco, at all, or?
I drove on Sunday, but no, not yet this week. Having a little break, midweek break, and just kicking it back.
How do you find the course?
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Deku, you need to alter 4 and leave the lobby because we're all bugged on a black screen. So,
all right. Sorry for that, guys. We are just having some two different difficulties, so hopefully didn't catch too much of what was going on. But yeah, unfortunately, I think we're just going to reload. So, can you give us 5 minutes and we should be back and ready to go? So we'll just leave you with the show opener really quickly.
And a very big hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, better known as Imola, a place where in 2015 AC/DC played as part of their World Tour. But today it plays host to round 3 of Season 5 of the Aussie Racing League and our first sprint round. Let's take a look at the circuit. It's 4.9 kilometres in length and 19 turns, a massive DRS zone and a very hard braking area going down into turn 1. It's going to be fun, people. Let's take you to your commentary team.
All right, so we are back, but unfortunately we're going to have a 5 to 10 minute delay just on a lobby restart. So the game's decided to crash and take all the difficulties with us. So what we will go through is what we started with, is the Drivers' Championship and the team standings. So we have our leaders, SGN, ABK, Dodge, roll out your top 3. So SGN with a first place and a third place has been quite dominant so far. ABK, after last week's win, puts himself up into second, so he's 15 points behind. And Dodge, even though having some minor problems last week, getting himself tangled up a little bit, is on 19 with Werribee close behind in the 17. Is there anyone in this group that you see that hasn't really risen up to expectations this season so far, Deku?
This season, I think a lot of them, I think most of them coming from the Tuesday division, novice, and moving up into the Prodigy division. I think a lot of them have definitely put their foot out. Of course, a couple of them, maybe not doing as well. I think Bass Baby, he was absolutely on fire last season, and I think he was in Prodigy, and now he's not doing too well. He's not even in the top 10, being beaten by people by the likes of Joe and Werribee, who were both in novice during the last couple races last season. So I think he might be looking for some interesting plays to get up there, get a bit higher with the points, and we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Well, that's it. I think the one for me that really hasn't showed anything this season, I think Flukesy had an okay start, but just got into a little bit of trouble, yet to really show what he's capable of. Joe's had moments where he's been pretty good, but just hasn't quite gotten it right. Wubsy's not up there. The one for me that really stands out is 33 Evis. He absolutely set the world on fire in his in last season. Himself was driving for AlphaTauri along with the other AlphaTauri. They were the king. They were a great pairing for qualifying. They absolutely set the pace. They were great race leaders last season. They did make a few mistakes, but they were leading races all of last season. So pretty disappointed so far for him. I'm sure he'll be disappointed in his performances, and we'll see a good result coming out of him soon. For me, the surprise package, Dodge has had a pretty good start this season. Jean Hanoi got on the podium last week, I believe. So he had a good little run. So yeah, other than that, moving into the team standings, Red Bull comfortably out in front with a 21-point lead over the Williams. So SGen obviously carrying that team quite heavily with his 40 points, but his teammate Kev the Gardener has pitched in with 12. So they are working quite well together. The Williams boys, obviously ABK up there with 25. 33 Evis, his partner, just handling in the 6. The Ferrari are up there with Werribee and Jean Hanoi. So it's always a good start for those guys. and then Alpine and Aston Martin not too far behind them. So pretty even throughout the midfield, but Red Bull clear on top in that part of the standings.
Well, you say clear, but there could be a double DNF today for SGN and Kev the Gardener. We got 2 races, and that's extra points up for grab for the sprints. So we might just see Williams or Ferrari here take the lead up on top of Red Bull if they have a poor performance.
Well, that's it. We do have both the Red Bull drivers today, so it will be interesting. But moving on from that, we'll just go back into our calendar. So obviously we have the sprint race this week at Imola. And then next week we go into Singapore. So something that I'm really looking forward to going to Singapore. I find Singapore quite enjoyable to drive. But it might be a test out to see the quality of racing next week with all the tight turns and everything going on. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think probably Singapore, one of the most difficult tracks on the calendar. The braking zones, especially if you're running no ABS, can be a bit treacherous. The traction zones, I think most of them are pretty much off camber. I know a couple of big traction zones are off camber there, so it might catch some people off guard. And then we've got to worry about the rain and the extremely high tyre degradation that we see there.
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see how that is handled this season, with the medium, the hard tyre coming into their own. If we'll even see a soft tyre other than in qualifying, so we're watching the soft tyre just become more and more disinterested or
misused, disloved.
Yeah, it's just last year it got a lot of love. You'd do mediums to softs. You would never want to go near a hard tyre in your life. And this year it's probably the same. It's probably just flipped around to not wanting to actually use the softs at all because they just don't last. So it'd be very interesting to see people driving around on medium and hard tyres at Singapore. Their pace will be quite different compared to what it will be in qualifying, I presume.
Yeah, well, I think even last year in the 2021 game, we still had the medium-hard strategy going around at Singapore. Just because the soft tyre would just overheat, it'd die within the first 4 laps. It just wasn't worth it. But I think right now, the drivers are not going to focus on Singapore. They're going to focus on this Imola race. It's quite a more easy track, but we'll have to see what the weather's going to look like, and most importantly, how the drivers are going to react around each other through the narrow turns. Imola's quite a narrow track.
Yeah, I find that the handling model on this game is actually very, very nice. Compared to the last season, I find it's a bit more consistent. So that's always a positive. But it's still, nonetheless, there are some tricky parts of the track that if you don't get right, you can lose a lot of lap time. So as we go up the grades, obviously Prodigy being the second highest rating that we have here, I'm expecting some good lap times and some very consistent racing.
Yeah, the only part that I'm probably concerned about is 2 turn ones. People are going to go safe into the first turn 1 in the sprint, and then maybe during the race they'll just forget what safe looks like after they're already in kind of, their racing mode, their hard racing mode during that sprint race. So just going to be interesting to see what happens, really. So hopefully this can get started nice and soon.
That is it. So we join the racetrack now as we are just loading in. So obviously, with the sprint race going ahead, I'm just going to quickly fill you in on the starting grid for this week. If you can just give me 2 seconds.
Is the formation lap on?
No, there's still no formation lap on, so I might just leave that thing. Obviously, our the top 10 races are switched back to front, and then it pretty much goes normal from there. So I believe that means SGN will be starting in 10th, but we are just about ready to go. So without further ado...
Wow Wobsy in first place should be for this one. And then Joe in second. It's going to look like a very nice start. I hope it's a nice start. I really like these guys racing.
That's it. So we got 5 red lights, and we are off. So
great start from Wubsy there, jumping into the lead, and Flukesy is already fighting Kev the Gardener into turn 1. A couple cars 3 wide, and will they get it through nice and cleanly?
So a pretty good start by all. We seem to be relatively clean throughout. Wawa Wubsy has started off absolutely great. We haven't lost any competitors. Flukesy's had a great start, pushing himself into second. We do have our first yellow, which looks to be
There's
Bass,
a big
baby.
crash at the back.
And there's
4 cars involved. Darkly, Bassink, Buster, and Striker, I think. Yep, so Darkly has retired. Striker has damage to his front wing. No. But Old Mate James definitely with that damage to the front wing.
Yeah, so we already have lost Darkly, unfortunately, again. But it is a sprint race, so hopefully he'll get a chance to redeem himself. Everyone choosing to go onto the medium tyre. We'll just quickly check out as I say that.
Well, we didn't see any turn 1 incidents, but we saw a turn 4, turn 5 incident today. So it's a little bit better than a turn 1 incident, just as much carnage. But it's not very good for the drivers. As you know, we want to see racing, we want to see clean, hard, and fast racing for these guys. I think all the back guys with nothing to lose coming into the pits to change their front wing and their tyres.
That is it. So just go through the position changes. Werribboy's had a great start, moving himself up 3 positions. King Cairo has done the same thing. Unfortunately for Dodge, who has lost 6 positions, Kachow has made himself up 5. Bassing has lost 3, lost 4 now, sorry. So some guys making up some positions. Obviously a great start for Werribboy, SGN and 33 Evis making themselves up, as also King Cairo as well. So not too much changing going on there, but a great start for the guys that we've just touched on.
Yeah. Well, I think one unlucky thing, Wow Wubsy, he had a beautiful start. He was about 3 car lengths or 2 car lengths in front of Flukesy, and now that's basically all cut down to nil as the safety cars come out. So I don't know how I'd be feeling if I was Wubsy. And but yeah, Flukesy, he had an amazing start, but Wubsy even better, and now it's kind of all negated with the safety car.
Well, that is it. We see the guys at the back who were involved in that crash. So Dodge, Nordal, Buster, Old Mate James, and Bassink have all gone and pitted. So we've got 4 soft runners now. I don't think the softs will last the whole way at a great pace. However, they will be absolutely rapid and be able to gain track position. So track position is pretty important on this. There are places to overtake, but track position, if you can defend properly, you might be able to pull out a Perez, the Master or Minister of Defence, and be able to get yourself in a nice spot for the upcoming race.
Yes. I think especially the soft tyres, personally, all the back runners who are on them, they've got absolutely nothing to lose right now. There's nothing to waste. So especially soft tyres, you know, I'd put them on in this instance if I was at the back in the bottom 10. I'd put them on, nothing to lose. I'd gain positions from it on the restart through a couple of corners with the extra mechanical grip through this part of the track. But yeah, I think it's a lot of work, definitely, for 17 to 19 and Dodge Arena, who's up a few extra positions.
That's it. So we should see the safety car hopefully coming in this lap, but Bassick needs to get a move on. So they do tend to call pretty late safety cars in here, but the way it's going, unless so we see Nordal ignoring yellow flags with a 5-second penalty.
That is not going to be nice. That's going to impact his race, especially during the sprint. Not going to be able to serve it, so it's going to stick to the end.
That's it. So I don't think we might get one more lap here under the safety car. So it's just unfortunate that couldn't join up at the back there, but that will...
There's a lot of big gaps between the drivers. I don't know if they what's really happening back there, but absolute huge gaps forming up between them as they head down that straight in Sector 3.
That is it. So, as I said, a good start from Fluxy. Werribee, another good starter. Kev the Gardener's got himself up there. The Red Bulls, sorry, the Ferraris and Red Bulls, probably the teams to be looking out for. They're the guys that have pushed up. ABK hasn't quite gotten away to the start he wants, so I'll be looking for more him for the race pace. He needs to make a few more inroads here, but we'll see how he goes. 33 Evis has made positive starts so far, so
I think right now we're going to be looking at probably the most people who are in contention have a really good race. I think Wubsy, Fluxy, and Werribee right now might be able to, get that race pace up to an extra notch above the others and gain a couple positions and really fight it out for those top 3.
yeah, I do see some. Again, there's only been 3 races, so there's still a lot of points up to grabs. I think we have 5 races left. So obviously Singapore. You can definitely make up a lot of extra spaces and whatnot, and make up some extra points. But we do have a safety car in this lap, so we'll stick with our race leader here, Wow Wubsy, as the safety car has taken off.
Yeah, and Wubsy now going to be controlling this pace. He's going to look to go probably at the best time possible. I don't think he'll be able to make it around that final corner before the safety car comes in, so he's going to have to do a little bit later. But it looks like he's off and away now, and Fluxy right behind him, gaining, did not get the best start. That throttle lock cucking him, but Werribee already making the move. And will Fluxy? Nah, Fluxy's way too far back to think of something, but Werribee getting the move done on Joe already, and John Penoy also making up a place.
So we have 3 or 4 wide going into turn 3 there. But it looks like Shanudi has also made his way up the grid. So he's now up into 5th position after being in 7th. Looks like SGN's made his way up to 7th. Kev the Gardener hasn't had the greatest. We've got, is that SGN that's just spun? No, it's Kev the Gardener. So the other Red Bull...
That's not what they'd be looking for right now.
Has had an incident there. So it looks like he might not have any damage, but yeah, he's got a little bit of work to do. But Fluxy's, what we're going on, has taken the lead of this race. So Fluxy's gone past Wow Wubsy. It looks to be that Werribee is putting immense pressure on Wow Wubsy as well. So the guys that we said are up in the championship and have been quick but just not getting full races in are starting to push their way out. So as we see,
all these top 3, they're really pushing the ARS right now. You can see Flux, he's already on 30% as they come barreling down to turn 1, and it doesn't really get any better from there. But here comes Shanuti, just thinking about it, backs out before the corner start.
That's it, and with that aggressive line, he's actually left himself open for SGN, as we see Cairo going up 2 spaces after the straight. So Cairo making his way up into 9th after starting outside the top 10. A great start for him. But again, sticking with these front couple of guys, we have 2 pretty coexisting groups. with a poor Kev the Gardener right at the back, but
making a lonely third, Kev the Gardener is doing. But look at that pressure that Werribee is putting on Wubsy right now. It is crazy. And he's making Wubsy go defensive through some of the corners, which this is... we have had a spinner at the back, old mate James, I think. He's spun out of Aqua Minerale, and Kev the Gardener is no longer in last place.
Yep, it's unfortunate for old mate James here, but Werribee is really pushing hard here, starting to juice and try and get around Wubsy. He's going to do that pretty comfortably, what it looks like. So Flukesy is 2.5 seconds clear. Quickly go to SGN, who's made it up the inside of 33 Evis. Went a little bit deep, but has managed to pull that back together. As we go a little bit further back in the pack to Dodgerino, who's right up the rear end of Bassman. But we've just lost Joe.
Yep, Joe has spun at the exit of the second chicane, gone straight into the wall. Looks like no damage, luckily, but that's going to cost him a lot of positions and a couple points from the race.
That is it. So Flukesy getting away, Werribee as well, trying to close down that gap, which he's closed it down about half a second. So some good pace there. Well, if we lost another driver...
John Hanoi. He's spun at the exit of Aqua Minerale again. He's not going to be able to come back onto the track. He's going to lose a bunch of positions. He has gone from P4 or P5, and he's spun again from P5 all the way down to P18, just behind Kev the Gardener now, and that is not good for the Ferrari fans.
No, it is not. But in other news, Cairo is making his way up the leaderboard here. So he's had an absolute fantastic start now, putting himself up into that 7th place. We'll go on board with SGN, who's looking to go up the inside of Panache. Looks to have gotten that done as there's contact. Panache and SGN have made contact, and then unfortunately it looks like ABK, 33 Evis, has also done some front wing damage after those two spun.
Did the two teammates just make contact? I think the two Williams drivers just hit each other as they went through there.
I can't confirm that one, but that has given our top three absolutely huge space with almost 5.5 seconds from 4th to 3rd. So what a pretty good position for those guys to be in. As we go all the way back to 10th, we've lost another, looks like Kichow in the Alpine. So again, that Aqua Minerale has caused a few problems for a few of the drivers. Jump on board here with Dodge. So Cairo's made himself up into 5th position here. Dodge is going to look to get a nice big run out of here, but it does look like Cairo has gotten into the DRS range of...
He hasn't. He hasn't.
So that's going to be a very easy overtake there for Dodge, who puts himself up, and they're going to have to do a little bit more. Those soft tyres have worked out for Dodge pretty damn nicely, if I do say so myself.
Yes, so on lap 9 out of 11, those softs obviously still going strong. And he's going to be all up the back of ABK, who we know had an incident earlier. So he might not be too comfortable in pushing, as I think Dodge just set the fastest Sector 1 that we've seen so far. But yes, Werribee, he hasn't really gained any time since on Flukesy, so he's just kind of dropping off a little bit, saving his pace. Same with Wubsy. They're just cool. I think they know where they're going to finish today. So focusing Dodgerino here. Up the exit of Aqua Minerale. He's got a good exit, and I think he's just going to have to sit behind as
we've just lost
Nordal's had an
Nordal.
incident.
So he is
another one
spun directly around. We're actually sitting in the cockpit of Nordal, who's gone around. So very unfortunate for Nordal. Great for us as commentators to see that firsthand. But Flukesy's running away with this. He's made up 2 positions. Werribee's made up 5. ABK's up 5. Dodgerino up 3. Cairo's up 8 positions. So an absolute fantastic race for him so far. As
I think they're going to go too wide into turn 1. No. ABK cedes the position, and Dodgerino has made it into 4th place with the fastest lap of the race as well.
As Bassink has gone around and he's touched Bass Baby. So Bass Baby and Bassink making contact there. That's going to push Bass Baby all the way down. So unfortunate for him, but Bassink's now made himself up 8 places. Buster's
and there's
upset.
a front wing going back from one of the Hasses. I think Buster's made contact with someone and there's a little bit of damage on his front wing.
Yeah, so plenty of action coming here. So we'll come up with this group here.
He's got no front wing, sorry. Buster has lost his front wing and he's holding up an absolute train behind him. I'm not sure how long he'll be able to do this, but it sure is pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's much point pitting now because he's going to be right at the end of the food chain with 1 lap to go. So as we see, that looks like Kachow getting up, trying to overtake, but Shinudi has actually pounced on that and gone straight up the inside of both of them.
He's going to need to try and force that McLaren into a poor exit, but I don't think he'll be able to keep that McLaren behind for long.
That's it. We see Dodge getting up now, up into 4th position, so getting ahead of ABK. So it's a great move from himself there. Go back into the main pack. Joe is at the head of the train. Drivers at the
Look
back.
at all the drivers making the moves. They're going to try. They're trying on this final lap. They're desperate, absolute desperate. As he's gone wide and there's contact. McLaren, a Haas, and the Alpine all getting. And the Haas sending almost old mate James into the wall. Bit of Monza vibes with Sebastian Vettel. But that is not what we wanted to see here on the final lap of the race. The drivers getting a little bit out of hand as they come through there.
Yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of investigating in there. But, yeah, as well as that, Buster's actually come back on the track and made both of the drivers try and reach out the way. So we've already seen our first couple of guys going through. So we'll just join this mid-pack. It looks like Kachow trying to get up the inside here of Striker, and there's contact, and there's is that a McLaren of Bass Baby turning out as well? There is contact everywhere.
Will the Mercedes actually get the Ferrari to the line? It's going to be a race. I don't think he's got it. So John Hanoi is able to keep 14th here, but Striker, Joe leading the train, and then of course Striker, Kachow a little bit further behind due to a couple incidents. That is just unfortunate. Hopefully they have better luck during the main race. I think it's just 36 laps, which they're going to be having to really make sure they don't make absolutely any mistakes.
Yeah, so again, we'll just touch on it. Flukesy taking away the win there. We'll start on pole. Werribee in 2nd. Wowawubsy in 3rd. Our championship leader will start 2nd to last on the grid. So this is going to be a very, very interesting race. Even for the man who's so far absolutely dominated this this season, starting in 19th after making contact. He's going to have an immense battle ahead of him. But we'll quickly go through your results here. Flukesy, Werribee, Wowawubsy, Dodgerino, ABK, King Cairo, Bassink, 33 Evis, Joe, Striker make out your top 10. Kachow, Kev the Gardener, Shinudi, John Hanoi, Old Mate James, Bass Baby, Nordal, Buster, SGN, and rounding out the back of the grid is Darkly.
Well, I don't want to say I did some cursing. Well, looking at that Red Bulls, it doesn't look too good. Leading the Constructors' Championship and I believe the Drivers' Championship as well, and they're not in the points. They're not even in the top 15. Or sorry, the top 10, which is not where they want to be for this race, especially going in where the constructors can change in just a matter like that.
That is it. So, quickly as we'll just flick over to our points. So, Flukesy, who currently sits 8th in the division, is on pole. Werribee, who is in 4th in the Drivers' Championship, starts 2nd. and Wow Wubsy, who is sitting 10th, starts third on the grid. So there's definitely some extra points up for grabs tonight. But in saying that, we are 5 seconds away here from lights out. So
I think the Ferrari is going to be one to watch. Wereboy, after not being able to keep up or catch up to Fluxy, it's going to be all about him. But here we go. 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and here we go. Good start from Wereboy and Fluxy. Couple drivers weaving to the side, but Wereboy's gotten ahead already, and Dodgerino up into third place. As Wereboy, he's going to be leading into turn 1, side by side, super fast through the corners, and Wereboy is going to keep it, I believe, as we got a couple spinners down at the back. A big tangle up with the boys again, but Wereboy, he's leading all the way through turn 3 and 4, followed by Fluxy, Dodgerino, Evis, Wubsy, ABK, and King Cairo. The Williams of ABK, he's challenging Wow Wubsy around the hairpin at Tosa, and I think is he going to be able to get the move off? I think he cedes the position, and Wubsy keeps P5 for another day.
that's it. So we have lost Kachow, John Hanoi, Kev the Gardener, after an incident at the back, even old mate James as well having to dodge out. But it gives left room for our championship leader, SGN. We're making way up into 14th already. Fluxy has gotten away in that first spot. Wow Wubsy has lost out a little bit. But other than that, we've gotten away fairly straightforward. As we've watched, I believe that's SGN who's actually left the track.
And he's spun, I think. He's lost his front wing. And I don't know where Kev the Gardener is, but the Red Bulls, they're not having a good day now. Where is Kev the Gardener? Oh, there he is. The Red Bulls, I think they've both got damage to their front wing, so I think they might be out of this race. But as we can see, Wereboy, he's not fighting too much. He's on the alternate strategy of the hard tyre compound, so let's just see how this one plays out with him.
That's it, as we've lost drivers at the back here. 5-second time penalty for SGN for causing a severe collision, so not a great
This is a
start.
virtual safety car.
That it is. So we'll give you a quick update here on the position changes. So 33 Evis has made his way. He's made up 5 places. Darkley's up 8. The big losers here, Kachow's down 8. Kev the Gardener's down 6. Basink, Wow Wubsy are down 3 each. Wereboy's gone down 2, but again, he is on the, what I would say, the preferred strat. Well, the hard to medium's a very, very good strategy around here.
I think it also saves time because you're not having to spend time, graining those hard tires, really grinding them to get up to temperature. You can, kind of set off on the mediums and whoa, after one sector, away you go, let all those horses release. I prefer hard to medium around most tracks.
Yeah, I found it was a personal preference. I preferred the hard to medium strategy last night. I was talking to Panache, my teammate, and he did the medium to hards and found that as Shanuti picks up a drive-through penalty for spurting under virtual safety car, as we're back to green light racing. But the time it took to warm up the hards was just incredible. They take so long to get into vol. As we've got another crash here, looks like...
Cars involved. Asink, Shanuti, and Joe involved in this one. It's not looking good for the drivers at the back. They've got to keep their cool. They've got to stay calm and collected, and they've just got to keep their head down and focus right now.
So as we got Fluxy, Dodgerino, 33 Evis, Wereboy, ABK, King Cairo, Wow Wubsy, and Striker. In the front group here, I think we'll see Striker might end up pushing over Wow Wubsy with team orders just to try and catch onto the back of this main group. But the DRS should be enabled. Will it be enabled this lap?
Should already be enabled. Lap 3, it should already be enabled, I'm pretty certain. So, I think the rear wing's already coming right open. And I think we will see Striker get past Wubsy, possibly. Yeah, Striker getting past Wubsy. 5-second penalty for Darkley. He cannot have a good race. It's never going well for him here. And Basink also picking up a 5 penalty.
So see, a lot of drivers have already pitted. There is a massive gap from the start. Looks like Kachow has spun up the top. Jean Hanoi just overtaking him now. Looks like ABK is putting a little bit of pressure here on Werribee, just trying to hurry him up, saying, look mate, I'm on the mediums, you might be on the hards, but if you're not careful, I'm going to go straight past you. So just falling out, he's just fallen out here of that DRS, so he's going to be under quite the amount of pressure coming into this next lap, as we see the front runners are already about to overtake the back markers here of Kachow and Jean Onai. So
and Evis, he's got DRS, I think, on Dodgerino, but Dodgerino also got DRS, going to be very close into turn 1. Just backing out, letting Dodgerino keep the position for now.
Yep.
But ABK has, in fact, gotten past the Werribee.
That's it. So we'll just quickly jump back. It looks like so
we've had a spinner. It's a back marker, I think.
That would be correct. He's going to have to get right out of the way here, as we've got the lead drivers coming through. So he has pulled onto the inside of the track. But again, we'll jump back on with our front runners here. So the gap is
he's nearly caught back up already to the DRS of 33 Evis.
Well, that's it. So we see this lovely picture of the cars all lining up along a line here. It looks like he's going to get into the DRS here. So those ABK looks to have a fair bit of pace here. We'll jump on with Dodgerino, who's getting just a little bit squirrely coming out of that last sector. I don't think he's going to have quite the pace here. So we have a spin in sector 3. Just a blue marker letting them go. So it looks like Kyra is going to put a little bit of pressure, but not going for it. I think, as we see,
John Hayoni has had a bit of an incident, and that's going to be some bitter feelings. Werribee already lapping his teammate 5 laps in. That's not the best, but you know, it happens sometimes. But ABK and Evis, they're right behind each other right now. They're currently fighting for a place in the Constructors' Championship. So it might be interesting if ABK asks Evis to hurry his pony up a little bit, or if they're going to swap the cars around.
Well, that will come down to it here. But we'll jump back on with Cairo really quickly. So Cairo, obviously on those medium tyres, and Werribee on those hards. He's going to be looking to try and get past here. Coming up to this straight.
He's going to have to push a little bit, but he doesn't have that much ERS. Probably a little bit better to look at recharging it rather than pushing it. But ABK and Evis have swapped positions, or they're fighting. Looks like they might be fighting a little bit as they let each other pass. They both got DRS, but they've lost almost 2 seconds to the top runners of Dodgerino and Fluxy, which is not really too good.
No, so it looks like ABK has got a little bit impatient and wanted to go around 33 Evis coming out of that last sector. So yeah, they've lost a fair chunk of time, and that's actually brought Werribee back into the fold. So Werribee can count his lucky stars that he's back on it. But the two guys at the front, Fluxy and Dodgerino, have really started. They've set the pace here. So this is a battle that started at the start of the year. Fluxy and Dodge, they are two experienced veterans of this division. And if they can keep it clean, they are very, very quick. As we see, looks like we've lost.
It's Kachow. He's got rear wing damage, and if there's one thing I can say for certain, rear wing damage is the most painful thing that you can do on this game. It's just not worth driving. It's so incredibly hard. But he is still trying. He's still trying to keep it out there. He's still trying to find some balance that he can go and keep driving.
That's it. So see ABK now, who's gonna have the run on his teammate. I don't think his teammate's gonna let him go around though.
Rogerino and Felixi, two former teammates, I think. Were they former teammates? I'm not too sure, but whatever they were definitely something. Championship contenders, championship rivals, and rivals in general. They are still going at it. They're very close to each other, and it's still lap 8, so their tyres should still be kicking quite nicely as they keep going lap after lap after lap, as we've got a back marker in Sector 3. Dodgerino, he looks like he's closer than he's ever been before. He's got a lot of ERS, 10% more than Fluxy. It's going to be interesting whether to see what they do as they come down to the final corner. Dodgerino looking to have a little bit more straight line speed with the help of that slipstream. And now the DRS after this corner, he's got to look for a good exit. And here we go onto the main straight.
So it looks like he's losing a bit of time on that last set of corners there. He was all the way up within the 3/10 range, but with that last corner he's dropped right back. So looks like ABK has finally gotten past 33 Evis as well, to put himself up into third. So hopefully he can pull away a little bit there. King Cairo is getting caught behind Werribee, so it looks like Werribee's tyres have now grown into full race mode, which he'll be more than happy about, considering he's not that far off the pace and he is on hards, and he's going to have the run home unless the safety car is to intervene. So, but our championship leader is all the way at the back there, poor SGN. He's in 16th at the moment, so we see out at a few points.
He's really going to need a miracle today, as I'm sorry to say, but Darkly not doing any better. He's spun around and he is now back down in 17th place. But Dodgerino, he's now losing lots of time to Fluxy. We saw him 3/10 back at the end of the lap last time. He is now 8/10 back, which is almost double, and that's probably not the best thing that you want to see.
No, it definitely would not be. So looks like as we've got, Darkly's just all over the place at the moment, so have to feel a little bit sorry for him, but
it's a cruel sport. And you can see now the race leader is actually coming up to the back of him now. He'll have to let them go, and he will probably get lapped and become a back marker.
that is it. So at the moment, it looks like we've got a very, very stretched out field. So a lot of blue markers across the thing. As we see, Darkly's going around again. Is he going to stay out of the way? Hopefully he does. But again, the Fluxy's that it looks like to be half a tenth up. So he's just not pulling away, but he's out of the way enough, as we see. I think that might be... Both Hasses have gone around.
Oh no. But speaking of going around, Dodgerino has gone around the final corner, and he's got a pretty good run, closer than he's ever been before. The DRS is open, not bothering with the ERS. And Fluxy opens the door, and Dodgerino says thank you very much, and walks through it, slams it, and goes into turn 1 on top.
Yeah, so it must have been a little bit of a mistake there from Fluxy, because he was well out of it going into it. But yeah, great exit from Dodgerino, so puts himself up into the first place. So we're joining along there. The next four have pretty much held their lines the whole time. Nordal has made his way up the ladder here. He's now almost within DRS range of Wow Wow Wubsy to push the Alfa Romeos are just a little bit harder to see what they're going to do. The two Red Bulls are now together with SGN and Kev the Gardener all the way at the back.
Still got to make a lot of time up if they want to get anywhere close to the points. But Wow Wobbsy, he's down 5 positions. Not too good for him. Him and Striker following each other very nicely. Well, not following each other, but they're nice and, they're 7th and 8th. They're a little bit close together. But I think Boy, he's got DRS now. He's caught up massively in the last lap to 33 Evis and the Williams brothers. It's going to be interesting to see if the hards have started to play into his favour, if the medium runners are having to think about whether or not to pit now.
Yeah, so the mediums will tend to last about optimum about 14 or so laps, depending on how you're going. There was a virtual safety car in there, so they might go 1 or 2 more laps depending on how far these guys want to push it. But the hard tyres, they'll be well and truly in their prime right now. So the medium guys might be just past the turn. As we see Nordal here pushing Weber Wubbsy's right up behind him now. So yeah, you've seen the hards come into their own now. They'll be nice and warm. They're ready to go, and the mediums will start to die off soon. So Werribee in a great position here. If he can get past one of these 2 drivers, it would be a pretty good look into it. But just jump back on board with Fluxy here. So
yeah, he's quite a little bit behind. I don't think he'll be able to pull through, as he doesn't have much ERS. He should probably focus on recharging a little bit. As speaking of which, one of the Williams has gone to the pits. Evis, who is done with his tyres, he wants to throw them in the bin and get something new on, I think.
Yeah, so I find that maybe a little bit early, but that's not bad. As we see Nordal getting a 5-second tyre penalty.
Yeah, so Nordal with the 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We've seen that a little bit lately. But we've got the Alpine again giving way to the cars behind. Dodge Reno and Fluxy still very close, but not close enough. As ABK and Werribee, they're fighting up all the way into the start of Sector 2. And I think Werribee is going to come out on top here and into Ackerman early. He's got the lead. Those hards are definitely something now, but he doesn't have much ERS. He's down to 10%. He's going to need that ERS if he wants to try and catch back up to Fluxy and Dodge Reno to make this ultimate strategy work.
That's it, but at the same time, he's got in front now. He can hopefully just go back and forth, push those tyres out. We'll jump back on with Fluxy here, who's a little bit closer now. Again, still doesn't have enough ERS, but we know how long that straight is. So he's going to make a move here. Is he going to go up the outside? He does. He comes alongside, forces Dodgerino to really brake late, but it's actually worked out Dodgerino's, as we've seen, possibly SGN lose a connection. It looks like ABK has gone into the pits now, so Werribee all by himself, got himself in some clean air. He's only 6.2 seconds behind on those hard tyres, so he's going to be starting to close that gap up to the front two, and then he's not going to have to warm those medium tyres up quite as much. So Werribee is very much in this race, especially if he can close that gap up. Sorry, not gup. If he can close that gap up, then look for Werribee to make a very, very late charge having those medium tyres.
Old mate James seems to have had an issue down in 10th there, actually spinning and losing a position, and he might lose a position to Buster and Nordal, who are fighting, as it seems, one on fresh tyres, one on not, as Fluxy and Dodgerino pit. Fluxy obviously not wanting to overcut Dodgerino, so they've both decided to come in at the same time onto the hard tyres and onto the colder tyres. And we'll just have to see where they come out. I think Werribee is going to have to hope they come out in traffic and that they get blocked to smithereens so he can make up those 6 seconds that he so desperately needs.
Well, that's it. And we've just seen King Cairo is having an absolutely fantastic race. Has been caught speeding in the pit lane again, another time this season. Cairo loves to speed into the pit lane. So he's going to chuck a 5-second penalty onto himself. So unfortunate for him, but we're going to go back with Dodgerino and Fluxy. Dodgerino has come out with traffic in front, same with Fluxy. Fluxy actually
losing a lot of time.
Yeah, well, both of those guys
1.6
going on to hards. They're going to have a period where they're going to be quite significantly slower, but they've got Bass Baby who's in front of them on the mediums, which again isn't too bad because they are quite a amount in front. But Fluxy needs to get a move on because he's behind a blue marker here, which could cost him a fair bit of time. But
as we did see Dodgerino warming up his tyres there on the track. There's a yellow flag, not sure what it's for, but we have had a spin back in Sector 1. Think it may be Bassink. I believe that's Bassink spinning out there in Sector 1 as we continue to go forward with the Dodgerino and Fluxy. A little bit of a gap between them, 1 second, so it's more than it was when they entered the pit lane, that's for sure.
to see Dodgerino just trying to keep those tyres warm.
The hards around any track, once you put them on, you know, depending on your the fuel size, how much you were used to cold tires, you are able to continue to push out in front. As Nordal, he's actually succumbed to Buster's presence and is now behind said Buster. As I think Buster's just spun, and that's going to leave the door open for Nordal to go back in front. Whoopsies. As we continue looking right now, Nordal, oh, and there's a spin as Buster actually nearly sends it into the Alpine that was already off the track, not wanting to make a collision. And Buster struggling for grip now, hitting both braking boards as he tries to come back onto the track. Not probably the best. Oh, and he's off and into a wall. Is that going to be he's retired from the session? He has retired from the session, and that is a full course safety car. Weruboy can pit, and he can come out in the lead on fresh mediums now. This is absolutely amazing. Weruboy coming past the incident now. He's going to be able to pit. He's going to be able to box for a new set of lovely mediums. Him and Wubsy a little bit. I'm not sure about Wubsy, but Weruboy is back in this, as I think he should be able to come out in the lead or very close to the lead.
Yeah, this works out perfectly. You look about lap 18 that you're looking to replace those hard tyres anyway. So having that there's going to be a full-blown safety car that dragged everyone out, he's counting his lucky stars because this one's probably worked in his favour. But yeah, unfortunate for Buster there. This is going to possibly drag out to all three of these laps. So with the field so far behind, especially Kachau is a minute and 9 seconds behind the leaders as we see Weruboy go in. Will he get caught speeding? No, not taking any risks there from the race leader. The yellow Ferrari pit team getting it done. Jump on board. Wubsy's going to come in. This is the where we're looking. So is he going to get out in time?
I think he's going to come out in front.
Nah, he's been caught.
Just dropping back.
So,
but he's on fresher mediums compared to hard tyres.
That is it. So Weruboy's...
Oh, no. So ABK actually has retired from that and has caused a massive conflict. One of the Alpines that came out blocking Weruboy, and then causing all the cars on the straight to try and avoid, which has caused ABK to now be... Oh, and there's more contact. Nordal not seeing the yellow flag. He's gone straight in to the Williams car. This is incredible. This is not what you want to see. and now there are 2 more drivers out of this race.
Is it? So, yeah, unfortunately, the guy's not paying attention. And, yeah, unfortunate for that. But, yeah, it looks like an Alpine was in the way. I don't know. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Kachow or Shanuti. I can't quite remember, but it looks like, yeah, there's contact between both the Williams, and ABK went straight up the back of 33 Evis and has absolutely destroyed his race. So this is a great chance for people to make up some time here. So obviously you've got our championship leader, SGN, is right at the back now of the grid, in that 18th spot. ABK, who is sitting...
He's been lapped, though.
He has been lapped, yeah. ABK is, I think he's 3rd. He is now out of the race. Sorry, he's 2nd. Werribee is our top sitter, up in 3rd position. Dodgerino, Fluxy, Cairo, 33 Evis are up there. John Hanoi is also at the back. So there's a great chance here to make up some really, really good points.
Yeah, the drivers of that DNF, they're not too happy with what happened. But, you know, this is racing. Sometimes bad things happen. You've got to deal with it. You've got to get up on your feet, and you've got to, you know, try and come back a little bit stronger.
Yeah, so Bass Baby up 8 positions, Old Mate James up 5, Striker up 4, 33 of us up 3, Dodgerino up 3 up into 1st, Darkly up 6. The main losers, Wowubsy's down 4, but he is on fresh medium, so he'll be ready to go. Basic down 6, ABK and Kachow have both left out massively. But we'll also, while we're here, take a look at the penalties. So King Cairo, Striker, Bass Baby all have 5-second penalties. Wowubsy and SGN have 3-second time penalties. So it's going to make this race very, very interesting.
Yeah, well, those penalties, I think someone actually got a drive-through during the virtual safety car. But 5 seconds for King Cairo, it's going to put him under a lot of pressure because he doesn't need a pit again, he doesn't want to. So he's probably going to keep that 5 seconds till the end of the race. And same with Striker and Bass Baby, sorry. Safety car has gone around again. All the drivers not just caught up quite yet. But I think more excitingly, it gives Darkly, unless Darkly is lapped, which he might be, I'm not too sure. It'll give him a chance to... Yeah, no, I think Darkly's been lapped, so never mind. So, all these drivers here on the... should be, what, maybe one more lap of safety car. They're ready to go, and I think Werribee is ready to actually start some... start getting some moves done on those fresh mediums.
Yeah, if I was Werribee, I'd be thanking my lucky stars that this has come in at the right time that it did. So he is now on the ultimate strategy with the hard tyre runners, and there's a lot around him. They're going to have to really put in some work to warm those tyres up. It's going to be hard work. He's going to have an easier job. Not only that, they're going to get up to temperature a lot quicker, and he's going to be pumping out some really quick laps. So we've seen the pace from Dodgerino and Fluxy. They know they're both quick, but Werribee wasn't that far off the pace with those hards. So if I'm going to be putting my money on anyone at the moment, I'd be putting it on Werribee. And we do have safety car in this lap, so
let's warm up those tires. Mediums, they're gonna fire right up, while the hards, you know, they're gonna be as cold as some coal on Christmas. They're not gonna want your love, and they don't want to be loved. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they work in the first couple of laps.
That's it. So we'll jump on board here with Dodgerino. So Dodge is a veteran in this. He knows how to restart races. We'll see how far he can go. He's just holding on a little bit. Just started the pace. He looks like he's taken off. Yeah, Flukesy's very, very clued onto it. Werribee...
So is Werribee.
...is even quicker on it. So he's going to be pushing right up the rear end here of Flukesy. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to get up in between them, but he is going to be absolutely pushing through. As you can already see the gap, he's going to try and go up the inside here of Flukesy. Nah, just going to sit in behind. So those medium tyres, as we have lost a driver, it looks like it is Darkly at the back there. Unfortunate for him. But those medium tyres are on, and Dodgy can really quite use this to try and keep away. But if Werribee has anything to say about it, he's going to be right around Flukesy very, very quickly.
Yeah, I think Werribee's mission right now, get past and ride off into the sunset with Woody. But on that note, cannot say the same about Darkly. He's had a absolutely not fun race for him, and I hope that he can get it back and maybe get 10th position here.
That is it. So we won't have DRS for another lap at least. But
Werribee has actually lost a little bit of time there in that last sector, which is not a good sign as it's standing.
That's it. So a few of the drivers just sorting themselves out, getting themselves into positioning. It does look like we have...
He's still chasing them down, but he's gaining time through those middle sectors, so where you need the grip more, he's getting it, but on the straights, he's losing it just a little bit too much.
Maybe just getting a little bit impatient, trying to get away a little bit earlier, putting his foot down. Not just having the full grip of those mediums yet, but all he really has to do here, if he can just hang on enough, at least for one more lap, he's going to have the opportunity. But Dodge is almost out of DRS range already.
Yeah, and Dodge actually now out of DRS range. Flukesy looking to have a little bit of an incident there at the exit of the tight chicane. But yeah, Werribee is also now almost out of DRS, but he looks like he might have gotten a good enough exit to be able to stay within it for one more lap.
Yep, so Dodge has set the fastest lap of the race of 1:18 on not fresh hards, but coming off that safety car. But it looks like Werribee now is actually going to put a pressure on Flukesy here to see if he can get anything done. The Alfa Romeos back to following each other very closely again. Loving the teamwork from these two boys, but they probably should spend less time rolling behind each other and start making some in-ways. But again, they are at the start of that new DRS train at the back. Again, Dodge is now 2 seconds in front, and Werribee is 0.3 behind Flukesy. King Kairos made himself up into 4th. Does have a 5-second time penalty, but could do something here. So Werribee is setting himself up here, losing a little bit of ERS, making sure he's nice and close. He wants to get this done on Flukesy now, and now's his chance, but he is losing time. Seems like Flukesy's very, very quick on that last couple of corners, but this should be quite easy for Werribee. He's going straight up the inside, right around, move's already done, and now he needs to make his way, trying to catch up to Dodgerino. But
well, as some people might say, he's done the hokey pokey, but now he's going to make it stick and go get up to Dodgerino. But that's going to be probably one tough bucket to kill, as a 2-second gap, 8 laps remaining. Not something that I'd fancy, especially when their hards are probably heated up and are ready, pretty much raring to go.
That's it. You might see the hard runners. I don't think you'll see them struggle right towards the end. I think with that safety car coming in, they're going to have a bit more left in the tank, and especially if there's no more interruptions, they're going to be in a great place. But yeah, Werribee has a lot of work to do. Fluxy has held up him quite nicely. As we see Shinucci going around.
Yeah, so Shinuti going around, not too good, but Fluxy, he's within 6/10. But does he have the ERS with the DRS to get back in front? I'm not too sure that he'll be able to do something here, as Dodgerino, I think, saw an AlphaTauri with him maybe. Never mind, that was Fluxy. But Fluxy, he's caught up 3/10 in that straight. So if he's able to get within 3/10, he could definitely get the overtake done again on Werribee.
Yep, as we see Wowie Wubsy and Joe almost tangling up here, but getting out of it. Joe managed to split the two of them, but as you see him making his way up there is contact there, but both racers get out of the corner. It's quite surprising. Joe is on the harder compound tyre, but Wubsy just still no match to actually keep him behind.
Yeah, well, Joe, he's got in front now, so Wubsy, he's held up a little bit for his buddy Striker, but will it be enough? The Striker does have that 5-second penalty, but and Wubsy with another 3 seconds, so they're kind of racing really hard, the people that are maybe a little bit behind them, as Wubsy, I think, had a big moment there, and he's now under attack from Base Baby. Going to go around the outside, and the Haas is coming as well. Might look for a move. Yes, he does, round the outside of the penultimate corner, around the final turn, too wide. Will he get pushed? Room is left, and the DRS is going to come right open now, as they're going to shoot out down the main straight, but I think Wubsy might just have that extra straight line speed.
Yep, so it looks like Bass is going to go up the inside, puts his nose in front. Oh, it's deep break. They've both outbraked themselves, but Bassink has come away with that positioning. Wowie Wubsy has dropped all the way back now. I think old mate James has just got him as well. So very unfortunate for Wubsy here after starting on pole in the start of the sprint race. And I think he was in third at the start of the actual race, as we see Kev the Gardener going up the inside as well. He's going to fight back a little bit here, and even SGN's looking to get in the party.
Well, SGN, I think, is still lapped down, so he's not really in any party. But I think most definitely, Kev the Gardener is ready to get that one singular point that he desperately needs right now for his team.
So while we've been distracted with the beautiful midfield racing, it looks like Werribee's really closed this gap up now. So he's down to 1.4 seconds behind Dodge. Fluxy's still hanging in there, but again, he doesn't have much ERS, so he probably needs to start looking to charge. Looks like 33 Evis is going to get the move done here on Cairo. Again, Cairo has a 5-second time penalty, so he just needs to keep his momentum going. It looks like Bassink has got up the inside here of Bass Baby.
Werribee, he's towing Fluxy along essentially now with that extra DRS, that huge main straight. But he hasn't gained much time since. He's been around at 1.4 for the lap, so maybe the mediums have started dropping off. The hards are coming back in. Maybe the safety car hasn't helped him as much as he maybe wanted to, or being held up, I guess, by Fluxy.
Well, that's the case, but Dodge seem to have those tyres very much warmed up. Bassink is in the middle of a McLaren sandwich, but he has got some pretty good pace right now. He's going to try and go around the outside. No, he's just going to let it go, get the better run. And it looks like he's got a much better run here, but Joe is going to hold off. So I'd be looking for Bassink, as we've lost Jean Pony at the back. But Bassink, yeah, he's going to hopefully just tag a little bit ARS here and go straight around Joe and push himself up into 7th.
Look at that DRS. He's got a lot of speed with him, and he's going to go wheel to wheel with Bassink around the outside. He's a full car length in front, and Bassink is forced to retire out of that move. as Joe's forced to retire out of that move as Bassink gets it done and is on his way for striker.
Yep, so Werribee brought that down to 1.2, sitting on 1.3. So he is making some inroads here. So he's lost old mate James towards the back, I do believe. But he's made some inroads now. He doesn't have any ERS left. So Dodge has a little bit, which will help him out immensely. But Werribee's only got 4 laps here, or 5 laps to go. To try and close that gap. His mediums won't be starting to hurt just yet. They'll be pretty much in their prime, ready to go. But at the same time, so will Dodgers. So just keep an eye on that as we watch the rest of the pack. We'll jump on board Cairo, who's got the rear wing open, but seems to be a fair bit too far back on 33 Evis. Having a much better outing, Evis is now. So
yeah, but speaking of outings, Fluxy not liking this second outing here. The hard's not treating him right as he's dropped back 1.6 seconds from the 6/10 gap to Werribee. So obviously Werribee is doing something right, or Fluxy is doing something very wrong to lose that much time.
Yeah, well, it just seems Fluke's is just not quite liking that hard tyre, but a third position here will still push him up through the ranks. I know he'll probably fall behind Dodge. With Dodge being up there in the stands, but this is a chance for Dodge to make up a huge amount of points on SGN. So if Dodge can keep this, he's just probably just going to keep pushing, keep staying in front.
As where he's dropping back now, the mediums, I think, just about done with his issues, just about done with his racing. But not sure the hards. They look pretty good right now. The pace on them is nice. I like it.
So just a quick update on the penalties. 5 seconds to Cairo, Striker, Bass Baby. 3 seconds to Wubsy, Shanucci, SGN, and Darkly. So
a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, Bass Baby's made up 8 positions. Dodgers made up 3. 33 of us has made up 4. Along with Striker, Darkly 6, SGN 4. The big losers, obviously, the guys at the back. But Wubsy has lost 7. So most people looking to go forward, but we'll go back to
25 laps on the hards Joe has done, and he's in the point, so it's a mega stint from him right here.
Yep, and as we say that, Werribee is almost back inside that DRS range there. So I don't know what kind of mistake was made, but he's pushing quite hard here. Again, he got no ERS, so I think he's really trying to put in a quali lap here to just make sure he gives himself a chance. He's got essentially 2 more off. I'd say 1 more lap to get in that DRS range, otherwise it's probably race over for him, unfortunately. But it looks like Bassink here is making his way further up a field, all over the back of Striker here. Should get this job done fairly comfortably. It's going straight up the inside. Yep. So Bassink has made himself up another position, all the way up into 6th place. So he needs to now try to take, 3 seconds off so Cairo doesn't have his affects his 5-second penalty. But that's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, a lot of work, especially for Werribee. He's finding time, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough as they come into the final sector. Almost 1 lap remaining now, 1 1/4, 1 1/3. He's 2/10 back from the DRS. Big moment there. Gaining, and all of it's gone, all of the hard work. He's not going to have DRS on this final lap. And I'm sorry to say it, but unless Dodge messes up somehow, Dodge Areno should have this race under his belt.
Yeah, that's it. And we have a little bit of a scrap here for that final point with Kev the Gardener within DRS range before he just leaks out there. So Wubsy might be under a bit of reprieve. We might see the top 10 already out in full flight if nothing changes. So
Yeah, well, those 5-second penalties are going to do really, really bad for most of them. It's going to push them basically out of the top 10 for a couple, and it's going to give others a chance to get a couple of positions, a couple of points.
And that's it. So Wubbsy's got a great push out of that final corner, which has actually put himself up in the 9th. But we do have, it looks like Shanuti has spun around going into turn 1. But so far, so good. Dodge, Werribee, Fluxy, 33 Evis, Cairo quite a well away. Bassing isn't going to quite encapsulate that 5-second thing, but we'll jump on board with our race leader. A fantastic race from this bloke today. Has pushed himself up, so Dodge takes home the race win. Werribee in second, Fluxy in third, 33 Evis will come home in 4th. Should be fairly comfortable for King Cairo to come home in that 5th position, even with his 5-second timer, but he's going to add 10 seconds, so it might be something to look out for as Bassink comes home in 6th, Striker in 7, Wubbsy in 8, Kev the Gardener's come all the way up into 8th, should I say, sorry, after all those penalties. Wubbsy in 9, Bass Baby in 10. Joe, unfortunately, missing out on the points there. Shanuti coming home in 12th. Old mate James is looking to come home in 13th. Might be pushing for the fastest lap here. Does have fresh...
Gian already got the fastest lap. But it will be interesting to see if he could possibly get it, or if anybody else might get it.
He's pushing pretty hard for it, so we'll see. Will he get it?
I don't think so. I think he was just shy of the fastest lap.
Driver of the day goes to Darkly. Gotta love this game sometimes. You really, really do. But
I'm not sure that would be my driver of the day, but, you know, as long as you're not last, it's a good result.
That's it. But, yeah, a great race win from Dodge here, followed by Werribee, followed by Fluxy coming home in 3rd.
Yeah, so for the most points so far, Dodge got 30 and Werribee got 25. I think that's going to put them up next to... It's going to put them up next to the Red Bulls of Red Bull Racing. But from the race, we can see the fastest lap, FGN a 1:17.5, and old mate James was a 1:18 flat, so he wasn't really too close to the fastest lap.
Yep, so a great race there from Dodge in the Aston Martin. The champagne coming out at the end. Great race from him. Werribee, close, but just not quite close enough. Was held up pretty nicely by Fluxy in the end. So we're not going to have anything come up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick little break and we'll be right back. All right, so we are back. We have, it is time for that magic time of interviews. We are going to go and grab the race leader straight away. So the race winner, should I say. So we'll grab him. We ain't got time to muck around here. Dodge, we said at the start of the year after your good result that hopefully see you up here a bit more. And now you've come away with your first race win of the season. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming.
That,
Haven't won a race for about 3 seasons now.
yeah. Well, good things come to those who are patient and those who wait. Now, we're getting a little bit nervous. Obviously, I thought you had a great race to get yourself up into contention with the sprint race, and then you've had a really good race, obviously, in terms of winning it all. But you did get caught out a little bit with a safety car. Yourself and Fluxy were quite dominant on those mediums for most of the race at the start. Pulled away a nice little 6-7 second gap to Werribee, who was on the alternate strategy. And the safety car came out at pretty much the perfect time for Werribee. Did you start to get a little bit nervous going, look, our hards are 6-7 laps into the stint. We are going to get saved towards the end, but this could give him a chance to kind of take over if I don't get a great start.
No, I had Flexi behind me, which helps, because I think for the division, I think on raw pace, I think we are the quickest too. And I thought, where is not going to get around Fluxy until Darius is a thing. So I thought if I could probably, I was stuck in two mindsets, whether to keep Fluxy my Darius or to try burn him before it became active. And then after the first lap, I think I had 8 or 9 tenths on him, so I thought, I'm gonna just push it now. Create myself a gap to Fluxy, and then hopefully it takes Ruru a couple of laps to get around him. But he got around Fluxy pretty quick, so
Yeah, well, that's
after
it.
that, I was like, yeah, the longer the race goes on, the more his meds wear out. So,
Well, that's it.
the credit to him, he kept up the pace. I was pushing the whole way, so I was on TT laps.
It was good to see that you pretty much commanded the race from that safety restart. But yeah, Fluxy did do you a solid there, giving you I think it was about 2.5 seconds you got out to before Werribee was really flaunting with that, whether he was going to be in DRS range for the last 2 or 3 laps. So great job by yourself to stay out of that.
Thank you. It was good. It was a good effort, to be honest. I needed a win. It's been a long time.
Yeah, we're right with you. We had most of the chat was getting behind Dodge. So have you got anything else to add here, Deku?
No, I think congratulations. Good race, obviously. I'm sure when you saw that safety car, you were probably swearing in your head, thinking that Werribee might have it from here on the fresher tires. But you did an absolutely amazing job to take that victory in a dominating fashion.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
All right, well, you go and soak it up. Go and pop some champagne after the drought has been finished. So congratulations, mate. And hopefully you can keep this run of form now that SGen's had a bit of a stinker this week. So
yeah, that's a bit of a surprise, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you got caught up a little bit. You got caught up in the sprint race and then got caught up again in the race. So it's good points for you. Again, congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you up a bit more as a championship contender, a realistic underdog, should we say.
Yeah, we'll go with an underdog.
There we go. All right, good to see you, mate. Congratulations.
Cheers for that. Catches.
All right, so the next bloke we'll go in is we'll bring in Werribee. Deco, you can start us off here. So we'll bring in Werribee now.
Hi.
How you doing, mate?
I'm alright. I was just watching. I'm not sure if you saw it on stream, but there was an almighty crash on lap 18 of the safety car where Williams
you
crashed.
came out of the pit lane, yeah?
Yeah, I was stuck behind them, and then the Williams just smashed into each other. So that's what I was laughing at.
Yeah.
Let's not make fun of the poor Willies here today, but instead I want to talk about your rush to the finish line from the safety car. Like, obviously, congratulations, but I want to know what was your plan after obviously being behind Fluxy and Dodge at the end of that safety car?
I knew Flixie was going to try and hold me up because that's the kind of person Flixie is. He's not going to let a position go without fighting for it. So once I go past him, I was surprised that I was able to actually pull away because I thought he'd use the battery. But then I started catching up to Dodge, but I didn't catch up soon enough because I was trying to conserve battery in case Flixie tried to attack. And also so I could attack dodge if I got his DRS, which I didn't because dodge I think he was just a bit too quick today. I think my setup was not ideal. My wings were a bit too high because I was gaining a lot in the corners, but just in the straights I was losing way too much time. And I think if I had lower wings, I could have gotten back in the DRS and fought for the win with the dodge.
Yeah, that was it. You fought valiantly all the way to the end, but just not quite having enough pace. The one thing I do have to say is that even though you did finish second, this will push you even further up the championship belt because ABK and SGN both not in the points today. So this is going to push you guys right up. So before we even reach, well, this is the almost halftime of the season when Singapore left before we're halfway. This is going to make the championship quite a close one now with SGN being all the way out of it.
Yeah, I think I'm ahead of SGN because I get 18 points for P2 and then 7 for P2 in the sprint. So that's 25 points. Yes, 25 in total. So I think, I'm just behind SGN, but SGN did score points. So it's going to be very close in the championship. I'm looking forward to fighting. Unfortunately, the tracks that are coming up next are not my strongest. So I'm going to have to spend a few hours doing time trial to try and get better so I can fight for the championship. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens in the future because I know a lot of the drivers are very quick and we're also very good friends, so it's going to be quite fun.
That it is. Well, congratulations, mate. Again, more consistency coming out of yourself. I look forward to hearing from you hopefully next week or in the few races to come. Keep it up and we will hopefully see you again soon. Congratulations.
Thank you. Great
Congratulations, Larry boy.
All right, so I think the last person we will grab is Flukesy himself. So let me just grab him really quickly. Can't have a commentary box without having Flukesy in it at some stage. Again, mate, congratulations, third place. You probably would have thought you're a race-winning chance here, but after that safety car, you just got caught out a little bit with not having as much pace on the hard tyres.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Dodge was a bit too quick today. I think he definitely showed that he's got the pace now. So I'm pretty proud of him after being so trash the whole last season. So I'm glad he's back into winning form. It's good to see. Same as Warrior Boy, you know. He got lucky with the safety car coming out. So those mediums coming out now right at the end were a bit too quick. I had to use all my battery because Dodge used his entire battery to get away from me to make that gap, and I used my entire battery to stay with him, and then Warrior Boy just obviously got around me easy because of it. So I had no battery to defend him, so I just let Warrior Boy pass to try and catch Dodge. I didn't want Dodge to win. So
yeah, it's been a little while. He has finally got the monkey off his back after coming back, but yeah, another safety car, which is kind of seems to be the way that you get caught up in at the moment. Have you ever thought about maybe going on an alternative strategy to perhaps maybe get the luck of the safety car, or are you just going to keep sticking with what you're doing?
I mean, you know, we've seen it at Monza. I went the alternative strategy, started the hards, and then the safety car comes out right at the time where it's perfect for the mediums to go to the hards, but not for the hards to go to the mediums. So I was then caught in the limbo of have to stay out on the hards, so, which means I'm now on the worst strategy. So I'd rather take the chance on the faster strategy than be, you know, get screwed over because of that strategy. So. You know.
Well, maybe you just have to think of what was I going to do this week, and then maybe flick it to the opposite and see if that works.
I'll say I'm going to do something all the way up until the race, and the race immediately changes it, and that way the universe can't change it on me. So
that's exactly right. But in saying this, obviously SGN and ABK both didn't score points today. So SGN will stay on 40. I think ABK did score a few points in the possibly
I think he got 2 points, I believe,
in the sprint race. But
yeah,
this pushes Dodge right up into contention now. I think Dodge will be leading after this week.
Yeah, so if my math is correct, he should be leading by 4 points, I believe.
Yep, and this will push you up now. Obviously, you're tied for seventh. But this with a pretty good thing here. John Hanoi didn't score. Shanudi didn't score that well, if he did at all. Pretty sure he was out of it. Where a boy pushed himself up there, but this should push you in front of ABK. If not, you'll be third or fourth in the championship, pretty close up in that battle. So before halfway, obviously we have Singapore next week. This is going to be looking to be a little bit of a shootout to see who can stay in that consistency range.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I moved to 35 points, which is just 5 points behind SGN now. So especially after missing Netherlands last week and not having the ability to score points there last week, which could have kept me into this a bit higher now. But but Singapore I'm looking forward to. Dodge is really strong at Singapore. He's very fast there. He's top 20 in the world at Singapore. So it's going to be a very tough race against Dodge there. Just going to have to try and take him out, I think.
Well, we do have a few drivers that probably end up doing that anyway, but I'll stay out of that one. But again, congratulations, mate. You got your form back. You started to get it towards the end of last season. You've come into this season right and ready to go. So hopefully you can keep pushing and to finish off this half of the season and start the next half. Hopefully we can see up a bit more and trying to take out that almighty championship.
Yeah, it'd be good. I mean, I've been vying for a championship for a few seasons now, so hopefully I can finally not choke and, get it. So
well, that's it. All right, mate. We'll let you go. Again, congratulations, and we'll talk to you a bit later.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Flukesy.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that just about rounds us out tonight. Any special comments or anything like that, Deku, that you saw throughout the race?
One thing that I'm gonna say is Flukesy's starts, whatever he was doing, he needs to keep doing some of them. Some of you guys should probably copy them, because that start that he got in both races was absolutely amazing. And the second race, not so much, but that sprint race, that start was pretty good. And then I guess from there, we want to try and look at next week, Singapore. Let's get ready for the streets and the hotness of Asia.
That's it. Well, this has been Wednesday nights, the Prodigy division. The top three rounded out. So we have our race winner is Dodge after quite some time off of the podium. Well, not off the podium, but without a race win, has finally broken the seal and pushed through. I know a lot of you guys were cheering for him in the comments. So Dodge has come home in first. Werribee in the alternative strategy has come home in second, continuing another strong season from Werribee. And Flukesy's put himself back up in a championship contention with a third place. So again, congratulations to all the guys that have gone through. We will be back tomorrow night with the Elite division. And then next week we will see you for the for Singapore. So I've been your host, Man of Tin, along with Deco in the box, and we are signing out. So thank you very much for tuning in. This has been ARL. Good night.
Good night.